The beep is sharp, too loud, like it's scolding me. "Declined," the cashier says, eyes flicking from the screen to my face like I'm contagious. My palm is damp around the card. I swipe again anyway. My throat tightens as if I can force the payment through with muscle. My phone buzzes. His voice memo autoplays in my ear, low, annoyed. "Stop wasting money on her pills." Heat crawls up my neck. I can taste metal. Behind me, someone sighs. The line shifts. My mom's call is still open, speaker, by accident, and a stranger's voice drifts out, calm as a knife. "Ma'am, we confirm the policy change was not authorized by you." My stomach drops. I look through the glass. Rafi's car is outside, and he's not alone. The pharmacist leans closer, whispering, "Your insurance was altered yesterday." My fingers won't stop trembling around the plastic bag of pills I can't afford. The pharmacy air feels too dry, like it's stealing moisture from my throat just to watch me choke. My name is Nadia. I'm 30, on paper. In my body, I feel older, like someone has been pouring sand into my joints one day at a time. Farzana is my mother. She's small now, but she still holds herself like she's made of straight lines and pride. Even sick, even with the faint, bluish bruise shadows under her eyes, she looks at the world like it needs to behave. She never says, "Help me." She says, "It's fine," and then her hand shakes when she reaches for her tea. Rafi is my husband. People love him. They laugh at his jokes, they call him such a supportive man. They squeeze my arm like I've won a prize. He opens doors, he pays for lunch in front of friends. He kisses my forehead in public like I'm delicate glass. At home, his kindness has teeth. My mom moved in after her health scare. Just for a little while, I'd said, temporarily. Like it was a sweater she could borrow and return neatly folded. Like illness comes with an off switch. Now her pill bottles line the kitchen shelf beside the salt. Rent is due. The numbers in my banking app feel like a countdown. Every time I buy her medicine, a thin wire of guilt tightens around my ribs, because Rafi makes sure I feel it. Like love is a bad habit. Like caring for my own mother is some selfish indulgence. And now a calm stranger's voice has confirmed what my body already knew the moment my card declined. Someone did this. On purpose. My stomach twists, hot and sour, and I stare through the glass at Rafi's car, at the shape of him in the driver's seat, at the shadow beside him that shouldn't be there. My pulse hammers so hard it blurs the edges of my vision. If you've ever been made to feel guilty for loving your parents, stay. Because this phone call changed everything. The ride home is only 12 minutes, but it feels like a tunnel with no air in it. The plastic bag bites into my fingers. Every bump in the road makes the pill bottles clack softly against each other. Tiny, hard knocks like impatient fingers tapping a table. I keep seeing the pharmacist's mouth forming the words. Altered. Yesterday. Yesterday I was at work. Yesterday Rafi kissed my cheek and told me to have a good day, love. Yesterday my mother sat on the sofa with a blanket over her knees, watching the afternoon light crawl across the wall as if she could measure time by it. Outside, the city keeps moving like nothing is wrong. Horns, vendors calling out, the smell of fried snacks and exhaust mixing in the air. My stomach churns anyway, like my body knows something my mind is still refusing to name. When I push open our apartment door, the latch sticks the way it always does. I have to shove my shoulder into it. The hallway light flickers, tired and yellow. Home. It's too quiet. Our place isn't big. 2 small bedrooms, a kitchen that's basically a corridor, and a living room that can fit a sofa, a little table, and exactly one argument at a time. When my mom moved in, the apartment didn't get smaller. I did. I learned to tuck myself into corners. I learned to fold my needs down flat like laundry so they wouldn't take up space. My mom's slippers sit neatly by the mat, perfectly aligned. She does that even when her hands shake, even when she's dizzy, even when she's in pain she won't admit is pain. I close the door behind me, and the click sounds like a decision. From the bedroom comes the soft, familiar sound of plastic. Click, click, click. The pill organizer. It's the sound that splits our evenings into before and after. Before the pills, my mother upright, insisting she's fine, stirring tea like she's stirring her pride. After the pills, her shoulders sinking a little, her voice quieter, her body giving in to what she refuses to call weakness. I take off my shoes and walk in. My feet move carefully, automatically, like I'm stepping through a room full of sleeping dogs. Mom is at the small table by the window, the one that wobbles if you lean too hard. The sunset light paints her face in soft orange, and for a second she looks like the mother from my childhood. Strong, certain, a woman who could shame a storm into stopping. Then her fingers slip, and one pill rolls away. Her breath catches, sharp and quick, as if the pill took something from her when it escaped. "I've got it," I say, too fast. My voice sounds strained, like a rope pulled too tight. She looks up at me, and her eyes narrow. Not in anger, in focus. My mother's eyes have always done that when she senses a lie, when she senses I'm trying to hold something back for her own good. "Nadia," she says quietly. "Just my name, nothing else." I bend down, pick up the pill, and put it in her palm. Her skin is warm, but too thin. I hate that I notice that now. Like my mind keeps tallying all the ways time is taking pieces of her. "I'm fine," I lie, because that's the language our apartment speaks. Fine means don't ask. Fine means not tonight. Fine means please don't look too closely, because I might break. Mom studies me. The menthol balm smell clings to her, sharp and clean, like eucalyptus and medicine and stubbornness. It's always on her wrists, her neck. She rubs it there at night like a ritual, like she can press relief into her own skin by force. "Did you eat?" she asks. I open my mouth and nearly say yes. The word almost slides out on reflex, and my stomach twists again, and I swallow. "I'll eat later." Her eyes drop to the plastic bag in my hand. The pharmacy bag. The one that might as well be a confession. Her jaw tightens. Not guilt, not shame. Anger, but not at me. "At how much?" she asks, voice low. I hesitate for half a beat too long. Her gaze snaps up, sharp. "How much, Nadia?" It's fine," I repeat, hating myself for it. She pushes her chair back slowly. Even that small movement looks heavy on her body. She stands the way someone stands when they don't want the world to see. It costs them something. She reaches for her handbag, the worn one with the faded strap, and opens it. Her fingers go to a small cloth pouch inside, the kind she used to keep her jewelry in. She pulls out a bundle of cash. Not much. Some notes folded carefully. Her share. "I told you," she says, holding it out like an offering. "I will pay. I will not be a burden," I finish for her, the word bitter on my tongue, her lips pressed together. She doesn't blink. "I will not be that," she says, as if saying it firmly enough can make it true. My throat burns. I shake my head hard. "No, put it away." "Nadia, no!" The word comes out sharper than I intend, and the guilt hits instantly like a slap. I soften my voice. "Please, keep it. You need it." Her eyes flick to the kitchen counter. There, sitting like a judge, is the tablet Rafi insists we use for the budget. He keeps the app open like it's holy. He tracks every expense with the seriousness of a man handling explosives. He says it's responsibility. I've started to understand its control. I can almost hear his voice in my head, mocking, smooth. "Look at this. Again, another receipt, another problem." He makes little jokes when his friends are around, how I'm too soft, how I can't say no, how I'd give away the walls if someone asked nicely. People laugh, they think it's harmless. At home, those jokes turn into sighs, tight smiles, long looks at the bank balance that feel like accusations. My mom tucks the cash back into her bag with slow, careful movements as if she's packing away her dignity so it won't get damaged. "You look tired," she says. I let out a laugh that isn't a laugh. It's air escaping. "I'm okay." The lie tastes like dust. Rafi arrives half an hour later. I hear his keys first, the metallic jingle that used to make me smile because it meant he was home. Now it makes my spine stiffen, like my body braces without asking permission. The door swings open. He steps in with that easy confidence of someone who believes the world is on his side. His shirt is crisp. His hair is perfect. He smells like cologne, like effort. "Ladies," he says brightly, voice warm, a performance even when no one is watching. Then his eyes land on the pharmacy bag. The warmth cools by a few degrees. Not enough that someone outside would notice. Enough that I do. He smiles anyway. It doesn't reach his eyes. "Another trip?" he asks, light. "Wow, we should get you a loyalty card." My mother's face doesn't change. She looks at him calmly, like a teacher watching a student misbehave. I set the bag on the counter, quietly. She needed a refill. Rafi walks closer, glancing at the receipt sticking out. His fingers pinch it and pull it out like he's plucking a thorn. He reads the numbers, then lets out a soft whistle. He hums. "That's impressive." My chest tightens. I can feel my heartbeat in my throat. Mom's voice is steady. It is necessary. Rafi turns his head slowly toward her, still smiling. Of course it is, Ma. Of course. Everything is always necessary. The way he says Ma is syrupy, like he's proving he's respectful while his teeth are already sharpening. He taps the receipt with his finger. Tap, tap, tap. Do you know what rent is this month? He asks, looking at me now. Just curious. I swallow. Yes. And do you know what your salary is? He continues, still conversational, as if we're discussing weather. And mine? Yes, I repeat, voice smaller. He nods, satisfied, then holds up the receipt again like evidence. So you know math. Heat floods my face. My fingers curl into my palm until my nails dig in. Mom speaks quietly. You don't need to speak like that. Rafi's smile tightens. Like what? Like she is a child, Mom says. Rafi looks at her for a long second. Something cold flickers behind his eyes. Then he laughs. Oh, Farzana, Auntie, he says, voice sweet. I'm not talking down, I'm just stressed. You know how it is. He turns to me and reaches up, brushing my cheek with his knuckles. The gesture is gentle, but it makes my skin crawl because it's meant to look gentle. Meant to remind me he can perform affection whenever he wants. Come, he says softly. Let's look at the budget. Just you and me. My stomach twists again. I glance at my mom. Her gaze is on me, steady, almost pleading without words. Don't let him isolate you. I follow him anyway, because I've been trained by months of peacekeeping, because my body still thinks compliance equals safety. In the bedroom, he sits on the edge of the bed with the tablet in his lap. The glow lights his face from below, making him look like a stranger telling ghost stories. He scrolls through the budget app with quick flicks of his thumb. Numbers flash, categories, dates. He doesn't ask me to sit. I stand. So, he says, not looking up. This is what I mean, Nadia. We can't keep doing this. Doing what? I ask, even though I know. He looks up then. His eyes are flat. Playing hero. My throat tightens. She's my mom. He leans back, exhaling like I've inconvenienced him with my existence. Yes, and I am your husband. The words land heavy, possessive. As your husband, he continues, I'm trying to save our future, but every month, it's something. Another bill, another pharmacy run, another appointment. His voice hardens slightly. It's not sustainable. I feel something inside me tremble, like a glass about to crack. She didn't ask to be sick, I say. Rafi's mouth twists. No, but she doesn't have to live here either. My breath catches. She's recovering, I say. It was supposed to be temporary. There, he says, snapping his fingers once like I've finally said something smart. Temporary, exactly. How long has it been now? I blink. 6 months? 6 months, he repeats, eyes widening theatrically. 6 months of this. He gestures vaguely, as if my mother's presence is clutter. A hot, sharp anger flares in my chest, but it's tangled with fear. Because I've seen him angry. Not loud, not violent. Worse, calm, cutting. The kind of anger that makes you doubt your own memory. I'm not asking you to abandon her, he says, tone suddenly soft again, reasonable. I'm just saying, there are facilities. There are options. My stomach lurches. No, he sighs like I'm stubborn. Nadia. No, I repeat, firmer. My voice shakes anyway. His eyes narrow. So you're choosing her. The words sting like a slap. I'm choosing what's right, I whisper. He stares at me, then smiles slowly. Funny. I thought marriage was what's right. I feel my throat closing. I can't breathe properly. He turns the tablet toward me. Look, see? If we keep paying for her meds, we can't save, we can't travel, we can't. Stop, I say, my voice cracking. He pauses, watching me like he's studying a reaction. Then he leans forward, voice low. You know what, Nadia? Sometimes love becomes a habit, a bad one, and habits need to be broken. The sentence makes bile rise in my throat. I back away, one step, then another, until my back hits the wall. The paint feels cool against my skin. My hands are shaking so badly I tuck them behind me to hide it. Rafi's phone buzzes. He glances at it. A name flashes. Imran. Rafi's expression shifts, lighter, easier. He answers without looking at me. Bro, what's up? His voice changes completely. Friendly. Open. I stand there, invisible. I hear Imran faintly through the speaker. A man's laugh, some comment about work. Rafi chuckles. Yeah, he says. She's handling it. She. Not me. Not my name. Like I'm a task. He glances at me then, eyes flicking over my face as if checking I'm still under control. I force my expression blank. My jaw aches from holding it. He ends the call and sets the phone down. Imran's coming by tomorrow, he says casually. We're going to look at something. A side opportunity. What kind of opportunity? I ask, wary. He waves a hand. Just money stuff. Don't worry your head about it. The phrase makes my blood run cold. Don't worry your head, like my mind is decoration, not a tool. That night, after Rafi goes to sleep, I lie awake, listening to the apartment breathe. The fridge hums, the ceiling fan ticks. Somewhere outside, a dog barks once, then falls silent. In the next room, my mother coughs softly. One cough, two, a pause. I stare at the darkness, my eyes burning, my heart too loud. I think about the pharmacy, the declined card, the calm voice on the phone, not authorized by you. My mind keeps trying to form the shape of it, keeps failing because the implication is too sharp, too ugly to hold. At midnight, I get up to get water. The floor is cold under my feet. The kitchen light flicks on with a dull click. I fill a glass, hands still trembling. Rafi's phone is on the counter, face down. For a moment, the urge hits me. Pure, electric. To flip it over, to look, to know. My fingers hover over it. Then I pull back like the phone is hot. Because if I look and I find something, I can't unsee it. I can't go back to pretending. I can't keep folding myself down. I drink the water too fast. It burns going down. As I turn off the light, I hear it. A whisper of sound from the living room. Rafi's voice. My body freezes. He's not in bed. The air turns heavy, thick. I take one silent step toward the living room, my heart punching my ribs. The hallway is dark, but a faint glow spills from the crack under the door. He's using his phone screen. His voice is low, intimate in a way that makes my skin crawl. He thinks everyone is asleep. I press my hand against the wall to steady myself. My palm is slick with sweat. Don't worry, he says, voice smooth. She'll think it's her fault. I stop breathing. For a second, my whole body goes cold, like someone poured ice water into my veins. My stomach drops so hard it feels like falling. There's a soft laugh on the other end of the call, another voice, muffled. Not loud enough for me to identify, but enough to confirm one thing. He isn't alone in this. Rafi continues. Yeah, the clinic, the insurance. Whatever, she doesn't understand these things. She'll blame herself, she always does. My throat tightens until it hurts. I taste bitterness. I taste shame. Not mine, his. His laid bare, like rot. I stand there in the dark, shaking, my nails digging into my palm, my mind screaming one question over and over. What did you do behind my back, Rafi? And why does it feel like you've been planning it for months? The next morning, the apartment smells like burnt toast and menthol balm, a bitter clean mix that clings to the back of my throat. Rafi's in a good mood, which is somehow worse. He hums while he buttons his shirt. He kisses my temple like he didn't slice me open in the dark last night. Like I didn't hear him say it, she'll think it's her fault, in a voice so calm it makes my skin prickle even now. I don't confront him. Not yet. My mouth is dry. My tongue feels too big. Words sit behind my teeth, crowded and sharp, but I swallow them down because I can't afford to be messy. Not when I don't even know the full shape of what he's done. Mom sits at the table, her tea untouched. She watches me the way she watches a kettle starting to whistle, patient, alert, ready. You didn't sleep, she says. I did, I lie, and the lie scrapes on the way out. She doesn't argue. She just reaches for my hand and presses it once, a small squeeze. Her palm is warm, steady, like she's trying to lend me her spine. Rafi walks past, glances at the pill organizer, and clicks his tongue. Maybe we should buy shares in the pharmacy, he jokes, cheerful. At least then we'd get returns. My chest goes tight. I stare at his mouth moving, his smile smooth and practiced, and I get this sudden dizzy sense that I'm living with someone who wears different faces like shirts. Mom's gaze goes to him. Enough, she says softly. Rafi's smile doesn't change. Only his eyes do. They flatten. I'm kidding, he says, like she's the one who doesn't understand humor. Like she's being dramatic. He turns to me. You're going to work, right? Transfer your salary when it hits. I'll handle everything. The phrase lands in my stomach like a stone. I can handle it, I say, and my voice trembles despite me. His eyebrows lift. No, you can't. You're emotional. You panic. You buy things without thinking. He taps his temple. Let me be the rational one. I feel heat crawl up my neck. The old instinct rises. Apologize, smooth it over, make it quiet. But another feeling pushes up too. Darker and steadier. A slow burn. I want my account, I say carefully. I want to see what's happening. Rafi's laugh is soft. What's happening is your mother's expensive habits. Mom's teacup clinks when she sets it down. The sound is small but sharp. A warning. Rafi keeps going anyway, like he's addicted to the edge. These doctors, these pills, it's always something. People lived without all this before. Mom's lips press together. Her face stays calm, but I see it. Her throat working, swallowing down something bitter. Pride, maybe. Pain. The urge to defend herself. My hands curl into fists under the table. Rafi slings his bag over his shoulder. Transfer your salary, he repeats, firmer now. And try not to create drama today. The door shuts behind him. The silence afterward is thick, heavy. My ears ring with all the things I didn't say. I go to work with my stomach in knots. All day, I move like I'm underwater. Emails blur, the office AC is too cold. My skin feels tight over my bones. My phone sits on my desk like a threat. At lunch, I try calling the clinic. A receptionist answers, bright voice, bored cadence. I explain. I say my mother's prescriptions are being denied. I say the insurance claims the authorization changed. There's a pause on the line, keys clicking. Yes, she says finally. It shows here the authorization was updated. Updated by who? My voice comes out too high. It's marked as patient requested. My chest constricts. She didn't request anything. Another pause. Ma'am, we can't discuss. I'm her caregiver, I say, teeth clenched. She's been under stress. She wouldn't. Authorization changes have to be confirmed, the receptionist says, tone sharpening now, defensive. We have it logged? Logged. That word again, like a trail, like proof exists somewhere, waiting. My fingers go numb around the phone. Can you tell me when it was changed? It says yesterday. Yesterday. I taste metal again, the same taste from the pharmacy. I hang up and stare at my desk. My heartbeat is loud enough, I swear the person beside me can hear it. When I get home, Mom is in the living room, folding her blankets. She does it slowly, carefully, like each crease is an act of control. Like if she can keep fabric neat, she can keep her life neat. She looks up when I enter. Any news? She asks. My throat feels too tight. They say it was changed yesterday, I whisper. Her eyes narrow. Not confused. Calculating. Like a chess player seeing an opponent's move. I didn't change anything, she says, simple. I know. She stands, sways slightly, then steadies herself with the back of the chair. She hates when I notice. She hates when her body betrays her in front of me. I will call, she says. I watch her reach for her phone with hands that shake only a little. She moves like she's conserving energy, like she knows exactly how much she has left in her. Rafi comes home in the evening, carrying takeout, smiling wide. A husband of the year entrance. Food, he announces bright. I thought we could have a nice night. My stomach twists, suspicious. Nice nights are his way of resetting the board after he's pushed too far. Mom sits at the table quietly. The food smells good, spiced rice, grilled chicken, but my mouth waters and then turns sour. Hunger feels wrong right now, like my body doesn't deserve comfort. Rafi sets the bag down and pulls out a small stack of envelopes from his own bag. Bills. He fans them out on the table like cards. Look at this, he says, amused. Our romantic collection. Mom doesn't react. Rafi nudges one envelope toward me. Open it. I do. My fingers feel clumsy. The paper inside is crisp, official. The numbers hit my eyes and my vision blurs for a second. What is this? I whisper. Rafi leans back, smug. Medical billing. Surprise. I start, then stop, because the date catches my attention. Service date. A day last month when I was at work the entire time. I remember it because it was raining hard and my shoes got soaked, and I came home exhausted to find Mom asleep on the sofa. I stare at the date like it might change if I blink. Rafi watches my face. His smile widens slightly, like he's enjoying how lost I look. See? He says, voice sweet. This is what I mean. It's never ending. It's like… He gestures at my mother without even looking at her. A hole you throw money into. Mom's voice is quiet. That date is wrong. Rafi laughs. Sure, the bill is wrong. The clinic is wrong. The insurance is wrong. Everyone is wrong. He looks at me. Or, someone isn't being honest. His eyes flick to my mother. The room feels smaller. The walls feel closer. My skin prickles. Mom's fingers tighten around her teacup. Are you accusing me? She asks, still calm. Rafi shrugs. I'm just saying. Things don't add up. He stands, walks behind me, and rests his hands on my shoulders. Light pressure that feels like a grip. He speaks near my ear, voice lowered, intimate. You don't have to live like this, he murmurs. You could have peace. You could have a normal life. Like other wives. Other wives. The phrase makes my stomach clench hard, like he's dangling a prize in front of me that I'll never earn unless I sacrifice something. Better wives, he adds softly, like a knife sliding between ribs. I stiffen, my shoulders ache under his hands. Mom's eyes meet mine across the table. Her expression doesn't beg, it commands. Don't let him. But my throat is tight, my chest hurts, and shame creeps in, thick and hot, because a part of me, some small, exhausted part, wants the fighting to stop. Wants to breathe without counting. Rafi squeezes my shoulders once, then releases me and sits again like nothing happened. Anyway, he says, cheerful again. Salary day tomorrow, right? Transferred in the morning, I'll take care of these. He taps the bills. I don't want you stressed. I stare at him, and my hands shake under the table. That night, Mom goes to her room early. I hear her coughing through the thin wall. Each cough sounds like it's scraping her from the inside. I stand at the kitchen counter staring at our tablet, the budget app Rafi worships. My reflection in the dark screen looks pale, hollow-eyed, like someone has been siphoning me. My phone buzzes. A message from Layla. You're quiet. Are you okay? My fingers hover. I type, delete, type again. Not really. A second later, she calls. Her voice hits my ear like warmth. Nadia, she says softly. Talk to me. And something in me cracks. Not fully, not enough to make me collapse, but enough to let truth leak out. I tell her about the pharmacy, the declined card, the clinic saying authorization changed, Rafi's comments, the bills. Layla's silent for a beat. Then her voice sharpens. Check your accounts. I can't, I whisper. What do you mean you can't? She demands. He handles it, I say, and the words taste like humiliation. He manages everything. Layla exhales hard. Nadia, that's not managing, that's controlling. My throat burns. He'll get angry. He's already hurting you, she says, voice low. You just call it something else so you can survive. My hand grips the phone tighter, my fingers ache. Please, Layla continues, gentler, just check, even if you don't do anything yet, look. I close my eyes. Shame pulses in my chest. Hot and heavy, because a grown woman should be able to look at her own money, because I've let this go on, because maybe I knew, deep down, and I chose silence because it was easier than facing what it meant. I'll try, I whisper. After the call, I wait until Rafi's breathing deepens in bed. I stand in the dark, listening to his steady exhale. The man who can sleep, the man who can ruin lives and still rest. In the kitchen, the only light is the faint glow of the router and the city outside the window. My hands shake as I open my banking app. Password. 2-factor code goes to Rafi's phone. Of course it does. My heart drops. A dull, sick realization spreads through my body. He didn't just take over our money. He took my access to myself. I swallow hard and try the forgot password option. My email pops up, my own email, but the recovery number listed isn't mine. It's his. My throat tightens until it hurts. I press a fist to my mouth to keep from making a sound. In the living room, Mom's door creaks softly. I turn. She's there, standing in the doorway, small in her nightgown, eyes alert despite the dark. She must have heard something, or sensed it. My mother has always sensed my pain before I speak it. She steps closer slowly. In her hand, she holds something wrapped in cloth. She sits at the table, unwraps it. A small gold bangle. Old, worn smooth by years of skin. I recognize it instantly. My grandmother's. My mother's most sentimental piece. She never wears it. She keeps it wrapped like a promise. My breath catches. No, I whisper. She doesn't look at me. She looks at the bangle and her jaw tightens. I sold the earrings, she says quietly. My stomach lurches. What? She nods once, eyes still on the table. The small ones, the ones your father gave me. I feel like I've been punched. Why would you do that? Her voice is steady, but I hear the hurt beneath it. Because you are drowning, Nadia, and you think it is your duty to drown quietly. Tears sting my eyes. Hot, immediate. I hate them. I wipe them fast, angry at my own weakness. I didn't want you to, I whisper, voice breaking. You shouldn't have to. She finally looks up, her gaze pins me. Then stop letting him make you feel guilty for loving me. The words hit like truth does, clean and brutal. I open my mouth, but my phone buzzes. A text message. From a hospital number I don't recognize. Reminder. Your balance is due, service date. That same impossible date. My blood goes cold. I stare at the screen until the letters blur. My ears ring. My hands shake so hard the phone almost slips. That date. That date I wasn't even there. My stomach turns, bile rising. I press a hand to my mouth. The room tilts slightly. Mom leans forward, her voice suddenly sharp. Show me, she says. I hand her the phone like it's burning me. She reads. Her face doesn't crumble. It hardens. Something in her eyes clicks into place. And in that moment, I understand. This isn't just cruelty. It's a plan. A trap being built around my name, around my life, around my mother's medicine. My pulse hammers. The air feels too thin. Somewhere in the bedroom, Rafi shifts in his sleep, turning over like a man without worries. I stare at the dark hallway leading to him, and the thought comes, clear, cold, steady. He's been doing things behind my back, and the proof is starting to crawl out into the light. Dinner should smell like comfort, like home. Ours smells like oil that's been reheated too many times and menthol balm that clings to my mother's skin no matter how much she washes. A sharp, clean sting over something tired. The ceiling fan ticks. 1, 2, 3, like it's counting down to something. Rafi sits with his back straight, elbows wide, taking up space like he paid extra for it. He's in one of his good shirts, the ones with crisp cuffs and a collar that makes him look respectable. Like the kind of man who would never hurt anyone. Like the kind of man people believe. My mother eats slowly, a small bowl of soup. Her spoon taps against the ceramic, soft, steady, each clink like a heartbeat in the silence. Clink, clink, clink. My hands are under the table in my lap, fingers locked together so hard my knuckles ache. I can feel my pulse in my wrists, in my throat, in the thin space behind my eyes. Rafi sets his phone down beside his plate, face up like he's daring the world. His gaze sweeps over us, warm on the surface, cold underneath. So, he says, cheerful, as if he's about to announce a vacation. I did the numbers. My stomach tightens on instinct. He reaches into his bag and pulls out a stack of papers, receipts, envelopes, printouts. He lays them on the table like he's dealing cards. 1, 2, 3. A whole little deck of shame. My mother's spoon pauses midair. She doesn't look at the papers. She looks at him. Rafi smiles. I know. Who brings paperwork to dinner? But what can I say? I'm a provider. The word provider lands like a joke that isn't funny. He flips the first page toward me. A receipt from the pharmacy. The one from yesterday. The numbers are circled in red ink. His handwriting. Sharp. Heavy. Do you see this? He asks. I stare at it. My vision blurs slightly at the edges, like my body is trying to protect me by softening reality. Yes, I say, voice small. He nods like a teacher pleased with a student. Good, now tell me, what are we saving for? My lips part. Nothing comes out at first. My tongue sticks to the roof of my mouth. Our future, I whisper. He snaps his fingers once. Exactly, our future. He taps the stack again. And what's happening to our future, Nadia? I feel heat rise in my chest. Anger. Shame. something sharp and bright that makes my skin buzz. I don't answer fast enough. Rafi supplies it with a laugh. It's being drained. My mother sets her spoon down gently. Clink. The sound is soft, but it slices the air. Rafi turns his head toward her, still smiling. No offense, Farzana, Auntie. Truly. But this isn't sustainable. My mother's voice is calm. You keep saying that word. Because it's true. Rafi's smile widens. We're a young couple. We're supposed to build, travel, upgrade, have a life. He gestures around the small apartment like it's an embarrassment. Instead, we're bleeding money. I feel my throat tighten. She needs her medicine. Rafi looks at me like I'm adorable, like I'm naive. And I need peace, he says softly. But we can't all get what we need, can we? The words make something in my stomach lurch, sick and sour. My mother's eyes don't move. She holds his gaze, steady. Your peace should not cost my daughter her dignity. Rafi chuckles. Dignity, he repeats, amused. This is about responsibility. He pulls out another paper. A hospital billing notice. He slaps it down in front of me. That date, I say before I can stop myself. My voice comes out thin, trembling. Rafi's eyebrows lift. What about it? I wasn't there, I whisper. My heart hammers. That service date, I wasn't. He leans back, spreading his hands. So now the hospital is lying too? My cheeks burn. My throat hurts. Words crowd behind my teeth, frantic, but they don't come out in a clean line. They tangle, they choke. My mother speaks, quiet as a blade sliding free. Someone is using her name. Rafi's eyes flicker for a second, so fast I almost doubt it. A blink of something like caution. Then his face smooths again. That's a serious accusation, he says, voice gentle. Who would do that? He looks at me as he says it, like he wants me to answer the way he wants. My nails dig into my palm under the table. I can feel the crescent moons of pain. I think of last night. His voice in the dark. She'll think it's her fault. My stomach tightens until I feel like I might gag. Rafi continues. Maybe you filled out something wrong. Maybe you forgot. You've been so distracted lately. The word distracted feels like a slap dressed as concern. I didn't, I say, voice shaking. He tilts his head. Nadia, sweetheart, you forget things when you're emotional. My mother's chair scrapes softly as she shifts. The sound makes my spine go rigid. Don't speak to her like that, Mom says. Rafi's smile stiffens. I'm speaking to my wife. The emphasis on my wife makes my skin crawl, like ownership, like a leash. He turns back to me. You know, he says, tone casual. Other wives manage their households without dragging their husbands into chaos. There it is again. Other wives, better wives. The phrase digs into the raw part of me that's been trying so hard to be enough, to be calm enough, pretty enough, quiet enough, useful enough. My eyes sting. My mother's voice is steady, but I hear steel in it now. If you want a better wife, go find one. Rafi laughs, short, sharp. Wow. He claps once, slow, mocking. Listen to that. See, Nadia? This is what I mean. She fills your head with drama. My chest tightens. She doesn't. She does, he cuts in, smooth as glass. She makes you feel like a martyr, like you're the only good person here. He taps the receipts again. But the numbers don't care about feelings. My mother's lips press together. Her face is still calm, but her hand trembles slightly when she reaches for her spoon. She tries to hide it by adjusting the bowl. Clink, clink. The sound is louder in my head than it should be. Each tap feels like my nerves being plucked. Rafi watches her tremor and smiles. Not kindly, not sympathetically. See? He says softly. Even eating is hard now. Nadia, how long do you think you can do this? I feel something inside me snap. Not a full break, not yet, but a sharp crack. I can hear my own breathing, too fast, too shallow. My lungs aren't filling. My fingertips are tingling. She's my mother, I say, and my voice comes out rough. I'm not sending her away. Rafi's face changes. The smile fades slightly, like a mask slipping. So you're choosing her, he says. The words hit me in the same place every time. A bruise he keeps pressing. I'm choosing what's right, I whisper. Rafi leans forward. His voice drops, intimate, dangerous. What's right is your marriage. My stomach turns. He looks at my mother. Farzana, Auntie, with respect, you have your own family, your own relatives. Why does it have to be my home that... This is my daughter's home, my mother says, calm. Rafi's jaw tightens. And I'm her husband. Silence stretches. Thick, sticky. I can hear the fan ticking. My hands shake under the table so hard my thighs tremble with it. I press my knees together, trying to anchor myself. Guilt swells in my chest like a bruise blooming. Because Mom is here because she's sick. Because she doesn't want to be. Because she tries so hard not to take up space. Because she sold something she loved just to make this easier. And anger rises too, hot and clean, because Rafi is turning that sacrifice into a weapon. Mom stands slowly. The movement looks careful, controlled. Her face stays composed, but I can see the effort in the way she lifts her chin, the way she braces her hand against the table for a fraction of a second before letting go. I will go, she says simply. My heart jolts. No. She holds up a hand, quieting me without a word. Then she looks at Rafi. You want to call me a burden? She says, voice calm. Fine. But you will not call my daughter foolish in her own home. Rafi's mouth curves. No one called her foolish. My mother doesn't argue. She just turns away. She walks toward the balcony. I start to rise, panic rushing up my throat, but she shakes her head once, small, firm, telling me to stay. I sit back down, heart pounding. Rafi watches her go, then looks at me like he's won something. See, he murmurs, voice soft. This is better. Less tension. My nails bite my skin. I want to scream. I want to throw the receipts in his face. I want to pull my mother back into the room and tell Rafi to leave instead. But my throat is tight. My mind is loud. Fear and anger swirl together, choking. From the balcony, I hear my mother's voice. Low, calm, controlled breathing. Like she's speaking to a bank, not to a betrayal. The balcony door is slightly open. The night air slips in, cool against my skin. Rafi starts eating again, like nothing is happening. The casual cruelty of it makes my stomach twist. I lean slightly, just enough to hear. Mom says, yes, hello, I'm calling about my policy. No, I did not request any changes. I understand. Please check the authorization history. Her voice stays even. No shaking. No pleading. Just facts. My pulse hammers. A faint voice answers from the other end. Muffled, professional. I can't catch every word, but I catch enough. Confirmed. Not authorized. My breath catches. My skin goes cold. Mom continues. You have a record of the confirmation? A pause. Then the voice, clearer through the crack in the door. Yes, ma'am, we have the recorded confirmation on file. My heart stutters. Recorded. Mom's voice doesn't change. And the device log? Rafi's fork pauses midair. It's subtle, so subtle, just a tiny hesitation. But I see it. My stomach drops. The voice on the phone says, we can see the access history, yes, there's an IP and a device identifier associated with the change. My mouth goes dry. My tongue feels numb. Mom says, it is not my device. Another pause. Understood, the voice replies. There's also a second number linked as a contact for notifications. My lungs stop for half a second. Second number. Rafi swallows, his throat moves. He sets his fork down slowly. My gaze flicks to him. His face is still composed, but a sheen of tension spreads under his skin, like ice forming. Mom's voice stays calm. Please tell me that number. The voice responds, for privacy reasons, I can't read it aloud, but I can send it in an email with the log. I feel my vision narrow. A tunnel. A single point of focus. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't bad luck. This was hands on a steering wheel, turning us toward ruin while I sat in the passenger seat, thinking the road was just rough. My stomach twists so hard I press my hand to it under the table. Mom says, send it. The voice replies, we can send you the authorization recording as well. Do you want it emailed right now? Time slows. The apartment feels suddenly too still, like even the walls are listening. Rafi's eyes lift to the balcony door. His jaw tightens, a muscle jumping once near his temple. My mother's answer comes after one controlled breath. Yes, she says. Email it right now. And my entire body goes cold with the certainty that whatever arrives in that email will change the shape of my life forever. I don't sleep. I lie on my side and stare into the dark until my eyes feel dry and gritty, until the shadows start to look like shapes with intentions. Beside me, Rafi breathes evenly, deep, comfortable. like a man whose conscience is a pillow. Each exhale from him makes my skin tighten, like my body is trying to shrink away from the air he's using. The email arrives at 3:12 a.m. My phone vibrates once on the bedside table, small, polite. My heart reacts like it's a siren. I slide my hand out from under the blanket, slow as a thief, and pull the phone toward me. The screen glows against my face. Subject line: authorization confirmation plus access log. My throat closes. I don't open it in bed. Not next to him. Not in the same air. I carry the phone into the bathroom like it's fragile glass and lock the door. The click sounds too loud. My hands shake as I sit on the closed toilet lid. I open the email. There are attachments: a PDF, a short audio file. The sight of the audio file makes bile rise in my throat. Recorded confirmation. My finger hovers over it. My thumb feels numb. The bathroom fan hums overhead, a dull mechanical sound that somehow makes this feel even more clinical, more real. I press play. A man's voice fills the tiny room, distorted slightly by compression, but familiar enough that my stomach drops. Rafi. Not shouting. Not angry. Calm. Smooth. The same tone he uses when he wants people to trust him. The same tone he used when he said, "Don't worry, she'll think it's her fault." He's answering security questions like it's nothing, like he's ordering food. My hand flies to my mouth. I bite down on my knuckles to keep from making a sound. My eyes burn. Not tears yet, just heat. A pressure behind my eyes like my skull is too small for what I'm feeling. I stop the audio. I can't take more right now. I open the PDF. My vision blurs over the details. Dates, times, device identifiers, IP addresses, a list of changes made, notifications rerouted. And there it is. A second number. Not mine, not my mother's. My mouth goes dry as chalk. I stare at it, willing it to change. It doesn't. I take a screenshot, then another. Then I forward the email to an address I create on the spot, hands moving fast now, fueled by something cold. I create a new email account with a name that feels like armor. I write down the password in my notes and then I copy it onto paper too, because I don't trust anything digital anymore. I don't trust anything I can't hold. I flush the toilet for cover, ridiculous, instinctive, then wash my hands even though they're already clean, like I can scrub betrayal off my skin. In the mirror, my face looks pale and sharp. My eyes look too big. I unlock the door and step out like nothing happened. Rafi stirs once when I slide back into bed. He mumbles something and turns over. His shoulder brushes mine, warm. I feel sick. In the morning, my mom is already up. She's sitting by the window, the light making her hair look almost silver. Her hands are folded in her lap, calm, still, as if she already knows what I found. I sit across from her and place my phone on the table. My fingers feel wooden. I heard it, I whisper. She closes her eyes for a second. Just one slow blink. Then she exhales through her nose, controlled. Truth, she says softly, doesn't need volume. My throat tightens. I want to scream. She opens her eyes and looks at me. Then don't, she says. Not yet. There's something in her tone that steadies me. Not softness, strategy. My mother has lived long enough to know something I'm learning now. Loud anger makes people defensive. Quiet proof makes them cornered. I nod, my jaw aches from clenching it. That day becomes a series of small, precise movements. Quiet work, like stitching a wound without anesthesia. First, documents. While Rafi is at work, I pull out the file folder from the top shelf, the one with my birth certificate, my marriage certificate, my mother's medical papers, old bank letters. My hands shake as I stack everything in order. The paper smells like dust and time. I slide them into a tote bag and hide it under the spare blankets in my mother's room. Then, passwords. Every account I can access, I change. Email, social media, any app that holds a piece of me. I enable two-factor authentication on my own phone, my own number. My fingers move fast, but my body feels like it's walking on glass. Each click feels like defiance. Some accounts I can't access at all. Recovery numbers tied to Rafi's phone, security questions he probably knows because he's been listening to my life for years. I write a list on paper. What I can change now, what I need help with later. Paper doesn't betray you by updating itself while you sleep. Layla meets me after work at a small cafe near her office. The air smells like coffee beans and rain-damp clothes. My hands are cold, even though the place is warm. She takes one look at my face and her expression changes. The joking softness disappears. "You heard it," she says. I nod. Layla's eyes flash. "Okay," she says, voice tight. "Then we move smart." She pulls her laptop out. We sit shoulder to shoulder at a corner table. My knee bounces under the table so hard my leg aches. We start with credit reports. My chest tightens when the page loads. There it is, like a bruise you didn't know you had until someone points it out. A new credit line, opened under my name. My breath catches so sharply I nearly cough. Layla leans in, reading fast. "He opened it," she murmurs, "or someone did with your information." My hands go numb. I stare at the numbers, the dates, the balance. It feels like my name has been stolen and worn like a mask. We dig further, bank statements from the one account I can still view. It's not much, a skeleton of my finances. But patterns start to appear like footprints in wet cement. Transfers out. Small at first, then larger. Always around the same time of month. Always after my salary hits and I transfer what Rafi demands. I swallow hard. "Where's it going?" Layla's jaw tightens as she clicks. "Not rent," she says. "Not utilities. Not groceries." My throat burns. "Then what?" She turns the screen slightly toward me and points. A name or an account label. Something unfamiliar, something that makes my stomach drop again. It looks like a person he's been feeding money to while telling me we're drowning. My vision tunnels. The cafe noise fades. My ears ring. Layla's hand touches my wrist, grounding me. "Breathe," she says. I inhale, shaky. The air tastes like burnt coffee and humiliation. My phone buzzes. A message from Rafi. "Don't forget the transfer. Love you. Love you." The words feel like slime. I don't respond. Instead, I screenshot the transfer history. I save it in a folder. I email it to the new account. I send copies to Layla too. Redundancy. Safety. Then we go to Dr. Sahana. Mom's clinic smells like disinfectant and old magazines. The fluorescent lights make everything look harsher. Honest. Dr. Sahana is brisk, professional, but her eyes soften when she sees my mother. She asks about symptoms, about missed doses. My mother answers plainly. No dramatics. Just facts. When Dr. Sahana steps out to pull files, my mom leans toward me. "Do not let shame slow you," she whispers. My throat tightens. Shame is heavy. It sits in my chest like wet cloth. Dr. Sahana returns with notes and a timeline. Refill dates, missed pickups, gaps in medication. She writes a short letter explaining the health risks of inconsistent doses. Her pen scratches on paper, decisive. "This isn't just about money," she says quietly, looking at me over her glasses. "Interruptions like this can worsen symptoms. It can cause complications." Her words land like a stone in my stomach. Someone played with my mother's health to make a point. My hands shake, my nails dig into my palm. On the way home, my mother's breathing is even, controlled. Mine is not. I feel like my ribs are too tight around my lungs. At home, we print everything. The log, the email, the screenshots, Dr. Sahana's letter, the credit report. We put it into a folder, a real one. Thick, tangible. My mother holds it for a moment, resting her fingers on the papers like a blessing. "Now," she says softly, "we decide how to make him confess without him realizing he's confessing." That night, Rafi comes home smiling again. He asks about my day. He pretends. I watch his face as he talks. The familiar angles of it. The mouth I've kissed. The eyes I once trusted. My stomach churns. My skin feels too tight. He sits beside me on the sofa and casually mentions Imran. "Imran says his cousin knows someone at an insurance office," he says as if it's a harmless detail. "They can make things easier." My heart thuds once, heavy. Imran. My mind flashes back. Rafi's phone buzzing with Imran's name. Rafi's easy laugh. The way Imran stared too long when he visited, like he was measuring our home for weakness. I force my face blank. I nod as if I'm listening. Inside, something cold clicks into place. Rafi isn't alone. Later, while he showers, steam filling the bathroom, I sit on the edge of the sofa with his phone in my hand. My fingers are ice. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to become someone who needs to snoop to survive. But he already made me this. He already pushed me into a world where truth hides behind screens. The phone buzzes. A message pops up on the lock screen. From Imran. My breath catches. I don't even unlock it. I don't need to. The preview is enough. The words punch straight through me. Once she signs the loan restructure, her name is trapped. My stomach drops so hard I feel dizzy. Trapped. My name, my life, my future. The shower keeps running, water pounding like applause. My mouth goes dry. My heart slams against my ribs. I take a screenshot with trembling fingers, send it to my new email, then to Layla. I place the phone back exactly where it was, as if the universe cares about symmetry. I sit there, hands clenched in my lap, listening to the shower, listening to my own blood roar in my ears. In my mother's room, I can hear her moving softly, the faint rustle of fabric as she adjusts her blanket, the quiet sound of her breathing. Truth doesn't need volume, but it needs timing. And now I know exactly what they're trying to do. They're not just trying to make my mother look like the problem. They're trying to bury me under paperwork, debt, and signatures until I can't crawl out. The bathroom door opens. Steam spills into the hallway. Rafi steps out, towel around his waist, hair damp, face relaxed, like a man who believes the trap is already shut. He smiles at me, and I feel something inside me settle. Not fear, focus. The apartment looks softer when I dim the lights. The same cracked wall, the same small table that wobbles if someone leans too hard. But with the lamp turned low and a clean cloth draped over the surface, it almost pretends to be a place where people forgive each other. Almost. I set out glasses. Nothing fancy, just the ones we usually reserve for guests. The glass catches the warm light and throws it back in small gold shards. My hands are steady. That's the strange part. My body has finally chosen something. Not panic, purpose. Rafi's mother arrives first, in a crisp sari, eyes sharp and scanning, as if she's checking whether my home is worthy of her son. Behind her, his father follows, quiet, tired, the kind of man who learned long ago that peace is cheaper than truth. Then his sister Samira comes in with a bright smile that doesn't quite settle on her face when she sees my expression. Reset dinner, Rafi had called it. A fresh start, he said, like you can wipe months of cruelty off a table with one cloth. He comes in last, carrying dessert, grinning wide. My wife cooked, he announces, loud enough for everyone to hear, like he's showing me off. He moves behind me and kisses the top of my head. It's a gentle gesture. It makes my skin crawl anyway. My mom sits near the window, her back straight, hands folded. She wears a simple shawl, hair neatly pinned. She looks calm, almost serene. Truth doesn't need volume. I keep hearing her say it, like a prayer. The room fills with polite noise, greetings, small talk, the clink of plates. Rafi pours drinks with steady hands, laughing easily, the perfect son, the perfect husband. His mother watches him with approval, her eyes glowing with pride. He serves my mom first, smiling wide. Farzana, auntie, you eat. You need strength, he says, voice warm. I want to laugh. The sound sits in my throat like acid. I sit last because I want to see everyone's faces. The food sits on the table like a peace offering. The air smells like rice, spices, something sweet underneath. My stomach is tight, clenched around itself like a fist. Rafi starts, of course. I wanted us together, he says, lifting his glass. Family is everything, and lately there's been stress. He chuckles softly, the humble hero. I just want to support my wife. Support her mother, too. His mother nods immediately. He's a good man, she says, like it's a fact carved in stone. Rafi looks at me with a gentle smile. Right, Nadia? My heartbeat is loud in my ears. My palms are dry. My throat feels tight, but my voice comes out clear. Yes, I say. He relaxes, as if that single word confirms the world is still under his thumb. I let the silence stretch, just long enough to make his smile twitch. I reach under the table and pull out a folder. The folder makes a soft thud when I place it down. Not loud, not dramatic, but every eye in the room moves to it like it's a gun. Rafi's smile stays in place. What's that? He asks lightly. My voice stays calm. A timeline, I say. His sister's eyebrows lift. His father shifts slightly in his chair. His mother's gaze sharpens, suspicion replacing warmth. Rafi chuckles. Nadia, come on! I lift a hand, not to silence him like a child. Just a pause, a boundary. I want us to review the budget together, I say, and I keep my eyes on his. You've been managing it. You said you'd handle everything. So let's do it as a family. Transparency. The word transparency tastes clean. Rafi's mother leans forward. Yes, yes, she says, show. These expenses are too much. Always medicine. Medicine. My chest tightens. I don't look at her. I look at Rafi. Bring your laptop, I say. His smile flickers. He recovers quickly. Sure, he says, too cheerful. If it makes everyone feel better. He stands, goes to the bedroom, returns with his laptop like he's bringing a trophy. He sets it down, opens it. His fingers move fast, confident. I watch his hands. Those hands held mine on our wedding day. Those hands typed my name into a form and turned it into a cage. I slide my phone onto the table, screen facing up. Before we start, I say softly, I want to play something. Rafi's eyes narrow slightly. Play what? I don't answer him. I look at the room. This is from the insurance company, I say. A recorded confirmation. Rafi's mother frowns. Why would insurance record? They record authorization changes. I say, calm. To protect the account holder. Rafi laughs, a short sound. Nadia, you're making it sound like... I press play. His voice fills the room. Not loud, not dramatic, but unmistakable. The same smooth cadence, the same slight pause before he answers questions, like he enjoys being in control. His mother's face changes first. Confusion, then disbelief, then something sharper. Rafi's father's eyes widen, then drop to the table. Samira's mouth parts slightly, her fork frozen in midair. Rafi reaches forward, too fast. Turn that off, he says, voice low. I don't flinch. I let it play a few more seconds. Long enough. Then I stop it myself. Silence settles, thick and heavy. Rafi's mother looks at him. Rafi? She says, voice tightening. What is this? He smiles, but it's strained now, brittle. It's edited, he says quickly. Anyone can fake audio. I nod slowly. That's what I thought too, I say. So I asked for the access log. I open the folder and pull out the printed pages. I slide them one by one across the table, like cards again, except these aren't meant to shame my mother. These are meant to corner him. Timestamps, I say, tapping the page lightly. The policy was changed on the day you told me you were working late. Rafi's jaw tightens. This proves nothing. I keep going, calm as ice. Device identifier, I say, tapping again. Linked to the phone number used for the change. I slide another page forward. And the notification rerouting, I add. So the billing text stopped coming to my phone and started going elsewhere. His mother's eyes move over the paper, scanning, lips pressed. She's quick. She reads fast. What number is this? She asks sharply, pointing. Rafi's gaze flickers. I don't know. I feel something lift in me. Not joy, not revenge, relief. Because he's lying in front of witnesses now. I take a slow breath. My voice stays steady. Then why is it tied to my mother's insurance changes? I ask. Rafi leans back, shaking his head with a laugh that sounds wrong. This is insane, he says, louder now. You're being hysterical, Nadia. You've been under so much stress because of... He jerks his chin toward my mother. Her situation. My mother's face doesn't change, but I see it. Her throat working once, swallowing down hurt. Rafi pounces on it like he always does. She's manipulative, he says, voice rising. She's turning you against me. She hates me because I'm trying to set boundaries. My hands are shaking under the table. The tremor wants to climb into my voice. I won't let it. I reach into the folder again. Credit report, I say. The words make Rafi's face go still. I slide it forward. A new credit line was opened under my name. His mother's eyes snap down to the paper. What? Samira leans in, reading. Is this real? She whispers, horrified. Rafi tries to laugh. It comes out thin. No, this is... I hold up another sheet. Transfer trail. I point to the dates, the amounts, the pattern. While you told me we were broke, I say, voice low, you sent money to an outside account. Rafi's father finally speaks, voice rough. Rafi, where did you send it? Rafi's eyes dart around the table like a trapped animal looking for an opening. It's nothing, he says. It's an investment. Imran said. Imran. The name drops into the room like a stone. His mother stiffens. Imran? That boy from work? Rafi's voice gets faster. Yes, it was just a way to help us. To help you trap me, I say quietly. Rafi's head snaps toward me. Trap you? He repeats, offended, like I've insulted him. I slide my phone across the table, screen showing the screenshot. The message preview. Once she signs the loan restructure, her name is trapped. Rafi's mother's hand flies to her mouth. Samira's eyes fill instantly, shocked tears gathering. His father closes his eyes for a long moment, like he can't bear to see the shape of his son anymore. Rafi's face drains of color. His lips part, but no words come out. The room is silent except for the faint hum of the fan and the soft clink of someone's glass as their hand trembles against it. I keep my voice calm, almost gentle. If you did nothing, I ask, why were the notices rerouted? Rafi's throat bobs. He swallows hard. He starts. His mother's voice cuts through like a whip. Answer. Rafi's eyes shine with panic now. Real panic, not the kind he performs. He looks at me. His gaze pleads, and something inside me, some old reflex, tries to reach for him, to soften, to protect him from consequences. I crush that reflex with a single thought. He didn't protect me. He didn't protect my mother. He protected his plan. I didn't think it would go this far, he says finally, voice cracking. Nadia, listen. My mother speaks then, softly. You made my illness a weapon, she says. Rafi flinches. My mother's voice stays calm, but I hear the sadness underneath it. I'm sorry, she says, looking at me now. I am sorry for being heavy. The words punch the air out of my lungs. My eyes sting. Hot. Immediate. I shake my head hard, my voice breaking despite me. No, I whisper. I reach for her hand. Her fingers are cool, thin, steady. You were never the burden, I say, and my voice shakes with truth. He was. The sentence lands like a door slamming shut. Rafi makes a sound, half sob, half gasp. He reaches across the table toward me, desperate. Nadia, please, he says. Don't do this. Don't ruin me. Ruin you. My stomach turns. He ruined my name, my peace, my mother's medication schedule. He almost ruined her health, and he calls it ruin when the truth finally stands up. I pull my hand back. I already froze the joint accounts, I say quietly. I filed disputes for the credit line, and I'm starting separation. His mother inhales sharply. Separation? She whispers as if the word is shameful. I meet her eyes. I won't stay married to someone who sabotaged my mother's care, I say. Rafi's voice rises, frantic. You can't just... I can, I cut in, and my voice surprises even me. Steady, flat, final. His father looks at him with something like grief. Why? He asks, voice breaking. Why would you do this? Rafi's mouth opens, closes. He looks around the room, searching for someone to save him. No one moves. Samira is staring at him like she's seeing him for the first time. His mother's face has gone stiff, angry. Not at me now. At him. And in the corner of my mind, I feel the clean click of consequence. Imran sends one more message later that night. Something vague, a threat wrapped in bravado. Layla tells me not to answer. Not yet. And then, like cowards do, when the ground turns solid under your feet, Imran goes quiet. Rafi sits at the table long after everyone leaves, head in his hands, shoulders shaking. He looks smaller without his audience. He looks human. But I don't feel pity the way I used to. I feel distance. Like I've stepped out of a room where the air was poisoned, and now I can finally breathe without tasting him. He looks up at me, eyes red. Please, he whispers again. I stare at him, my heart aching in that strange way it does when you mourn someone who's still alive, someone you thought was real. The apartment is quiet. The room stays still. No one saves him. Morning comes in quietly, like it's afraid to startle me. Sunlight spills across the kitchen tiles in a thin gold sheet, warming the corners that always felt cold. I stand there for a moment and just let it touch me. My shoulders unclench by degrees I didn't know were possible. The air tastes different when you're not swallowing fear with it. Fresh sheets snap softly when I shake them out. Clean cotton, a simple scent, soap and sun, so ordinary it makes my throat sting. I make my mother's bed the way she likes it. Corners tight, blanket folded with that firm line she always chased even when her hands trembled. On the table, the pill organizer sits open. I sort each tablet carefully, listening to the little clicks as they drop into place. Click, click, click. Not a countdown anymore, a routine, a promise. My mother shuffles in, slower than she wants me to notice. She pauses in the doorway, watching me like I'm something fragile she doesn't want to scare away. You didn't have to, she says. I wanted to, I answer, and my voice doesn't shake. She sits, and for the first time in months, I watch her take her medicine without my stomach twisting. No dread. No panic about a card declining. No fear that a notification has been stolen before it reaches me. Just quiet. Love isn't a debt. It isn't something you pay off until you earn rest. And control, real control, doesn't always look like shouting. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it wears the mask of budgeting, planning, being responsible, while it tightens around your life, one small permission at a time. I used to think I needed louder words. I didn't. Quiet proof beats loud arguments. Every time. I inhale, deep, filling my lungs all the way to the bottom. The breath feels unfamiliar, like a room I haven't entered in years. I hold it for a second. Then I let it go. If you've ever been blamed for someone else's cruelty, I want to know. What would you have done at that dinner? And if you're still here with me, stay close, because there are more betrayal to justice stories coming. Like, subscribe. The scariest part, the first time he did it, I thanked him.